Let me take you on a journey. Our journey starts with 0, a point of any size. Now to move up a dimension, what do? Say after me. Draw a perpendicular line.
Draw a perpendicular line.
Now we have our first dimension, length.
Draw a perpendicular line.
Now we have our second dimension, width.
Draw a perpendicular line.
Now we have our third dimension, depth. So we have 3 dimensions. But how can we go further?
You can't use these eyes no more.
You must use the inner one. Huh?
What'd he say?
Open up.
Hey, get back to the show, man.
Draw a perpendicular line.
Draw that line from the cube now to the same cube 1 hour from now. This line is in the 4th dimension, time. If you use your 2 eyes to look at it and not your inner eye, it'll look something like this. So use your inner eye. For simplicity's sake, we're just going to use this. But how do we go past this?
Stay with me, just one more.
Draw a perpendicular line.
This line will be drawn in the 5th dimension, possibility, where you can choose between different possible timelines, different possible futures. And we've gone as high as we're going to go. Yep, that's it, folks. We've gone as high as we're going to go because the 5th dimension is where you, yourself, your mind, lives in the realm of possibility. All you do all day long is make choices between different possible options. And you control your 3D body with your 5D mind. And the space in between is your life, time. So let's think. If we take our 5th dimensional mind and we fill it with things of the 3rd dimension, like we're attached to material things that we see and we call physical reality, what's that going to do? It's going to cause us to squeeze down the 4th dimension because the 5th and the 3rd are getting closer and closer, and that time in between, the 4th dimension, is going to get smaller and smaller and shorter. But if we let go of these 3D material things, we let go of our attachments to them, then there won't be as much weight pressing down on our mind, so it can expand naturally.
René Descartes, a French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist, said that the soul of the body, where the thinking comes from, is in the pineal gland of the brain and rear center. It's that red dot you see. Well, what if somebody was expanding their mind to such a large degree that it became the size of their whole head? What about when it's larger than their whole head? What about when it's so large that it reaches the orbit of the planet Pluto? At this time, the mind sphere will have grown so large that it resembles more closely a flat wall. If you keep going, you'll notice that you're now out of our time field. You'll have crossed the boundary between the mortal and the immortal realms. This is heaven.